Hello, my name is Wesley. I'm with Expert AI and Optimization Lab, and today we're going to be taking a look at two applications, Lovable.dev and n8n. I'm going to be responding to a question on Facebook, and the question is, how do you work with WebSockets? And I went on to say, well, let's just dive right into it and find out. Question is, does anyone have a Lovable project working with WebSockets, trying to get Gemini Live API to work? So inside of Lovable, there's what I typically do is I will create an admin section. First of all, let's discuss what a WebSocket is versus a webhook. A WebSocket is a protocol that creates a persistent two-way connection between your client and a browser. How it works is one of the sockets is open. Both sides can send and receive the data at any time. Example, a chat app where a message appears instantly, or a Gemini Live app API, which streams model output token by token. The idea is it's a real-time bidirectional communication, whereas a webhook is a way for a system to push one-time HTTP requests to another system. And when that happens, when an event happens, so your app registers a URL, a webhook endpoint, where an event occurs, new users sign up, etc., and then a post is made to an endpoint or JSON data. So the question, though, was, does anyone have a Lovable project working? And my response on that was, as with any API connection, I have an admin settings area where I like to set up and manage connections or integrations. Once those are working, then I call on those connections through either an edge function or an application, and I resend this, like resend for email or API keys for OpenAI or webhooks, etc. For me, it's better to build a complex workflow in things like n8n and then call them inside of Lovable. So he wanted a demo of this. So okay, let's do a demo. And so here's an application that I built for a client. And this particular application is basically splits up PDF files, sends them into a complex auditing system, etc. And if you notice, there's a webhook here. And I'm calling on this particular webhook in this particular application. So if I were to choose a file and then I upload the file, it's going to send it to this particular webhook. Okay. And so if we pop over to n8n, let's go ahead and set up a sample webhook. So I'm just going to search for a webhook. And we're going to get the post in this particular one. We're going to do post message, going to be sending a file. There's a production URL and a test URL. So what I did here is inside of here, I did create the admin section. And this is kind of where I keep all my admin stuff. And in particular, this is a webhook, so I'm going to add a webhook here. I'm just going to call this demo. And in this webhook here, I'm going to get this test URL. So we're going to copy this webhook here. And we're going to paste it in here. And then we're going to create this webhook. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to make this thing listen. So now it's listening in the test mode here. And if I go back here and if I run a test, we get success. And if I go back here, you're going to see a file. The file now is a PDF file, which is a test webhook file. So that's it. So if you had an n8n function or a big flow, now the file is in here, and then you would add some sort of action to it, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's typically, so that's it. That's how I deal with creating an admin section and doing complex maneuvers. So as you know, Lovable gets really confusing. Once you start developing in it, things can change pretty quickly. And so if you go in and you create your APIs or create your webhooks or your WebSockets inside of a dashboard and make calls to them, you can control all the complex stuff outside of the AI dev environment. and then you can fine tune and tweak it and that sort of thing, and then use Lovable for what Lovable is good for, and use workflow automations and other systems for what they're good for. I hope that helps. Be sure to follow us on Expert AI and Optimization Lab. If you need any help, give us a call, shoot me a message. Be more than happy to work with you on solving some of your problems. Take care, and until next time.